Okay, gonna try and do a recap of my first full day in Ottawa without running over my 10-minute time because I did a long. I don't want to make this two parts, it's too long. So this morning I wasn't feeling great, but eventually I hauled my butt out of bed and I went to the Science and Technology Museum, which meant for kids. But I was there for about, I don't know, an hour and a half, something like that. And it was actually pretty good. They had like this whole steam engine exhibit that was really interesting. There was an exhibit on the evolution of sound and stuff, which, by the way, nothing better in this world than going to a museum and seeing some of the stuff that you used back in the 80s and 90s and it makes you feel old. Thank you for that museum, because there was like phones that I had used, music devices, Sony Walkman, Sony Discman, even an Apple iPod. Yeah, made me feel old. Problem is that it's a long weekend here in Canada, in Ottawa, and there is everybody and their brother here. So the museum was full of screaming kids, and I don't do well in crowds. I have a very rough time. I do my best, but so many of the stuff was interactive, and the kids, and they're touching, and their little germy fingers, and I had wipes with me, and I could have probably wiped things down, but I just didn't really want to touch a lot. But, I managed my way through just reading, not really touching the interactive stuff, but reading a lot of stuff. I discovered that I did not know that coffee makers run really high in terms of energy use. Did not know that. Something interesting that I learned. I also got to see what potash was. I thought it was type of like fertilizer mix or something. Like I know it's a fertilizer mix, but I had in my mind a type of soil or something. I didn't realize it's a mineral. And then they crush up this mineral. I didn't know that. I did not know that. So I learned something else today. Anybody who was asking me if the Crooked House is still there or the Crooked Kitchen, it's still there. I didn't go into it because, little kids and a single adult in close spaces, I don't want to look weird, so I didn't go in. But yeah, so I checked out all those. Unfortunately, my stomach was off this morning. So at one point I was like, okay, I just have to go. I looked at everything that I felt was interesting and decided to go. So I ended up going over to Walmart because I'm like, I've got a whole week here and I can't be eating constant fast food. Like, it's not going to do well. And you can't always find like the greatest things to eat. Like, it's not always going to be an option. So I went to Walmart and I picked up like bread and peanut butter and ginger ale and all this different stuff. But then I realized, I'm like, crap, I need like a knife and plates. And I'm like, so I go to the plastic cutlery. It's like $5 for a bunch of like, those paper plates. And they only had club-size packs of utensils, which I didn't need. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. And then I got a brilliant idea. I ended up going over the home section, and I ended up picking up for like $1, like 3 butter knives. And then for like $2, I got a little plastic dinosaur plate. So there you go, my little dinosaur plate, which I will take home. I will not leave these things here. I'm not wasteful. And they were way cheaper. The little dinosaur plate was like, I don't know, $2.67 or something like that. And then it was $1 for all of those knives. I can just wash them in my room with soap or whatever. It's not a big deal. And then I picked up a few other things and then came back to the hotel. I made my food and then I ended up having a nap. And I woke up and I hear these people chanting and I'm thinking, what the? There's a protest outside. I have no idea what they were protesting about. I couldn't hear them. They even came by a second time and I was trying to listen. Still have no idea what they were protesting about. Somebody was going by with a flag. It was like green, white, and blue. I couldn't see any signs. I have no idea. But it seems very stereotypical for being outside the Parliament building. Of course, there's going to be a protest on a long weekend. So eventually I got my stuff together, and I ended up heading over to the Rideau Center, which is the mall that's like 2 little skips over. And I went in there and I checked out a bunch of the stores and everything, and they have this really cool nerd store. Oh my god, it's called like Imaginarium or something. And it's just like everything that you could possibly want to buy, like Lego and cards and comic books and Funko Pops and statues and puzzles. And I had to be like, no, I don't need anything here. I don't. Even though there was a really, really nice Funko Pop of Raj Al Ghul that I don't have from the animated series. So I don't know. Maybe I'll go back and get it. I don't know. And then I checked out, there was like some Japanese stores that I always like looking at. There wasn't any really good Japanese food that I wanted to get. I really like their snacks, their candy and such, but there wasn't anything good. Yeah, so I bummed around there, and then I ended up leaving, and I wanted to go to this patisserie. There's Edna's, Edie's or something. I don't know. There's a patisserie that's like a couple blocks up by the Byward Market. And I get there at like 10 minutes to close, and there's a sign on the door that says that they're sold out for the day. So I assume they must be very popular, especially on a long weekend. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the Byward Market, I think maybe Tuesday or Wednesday. Wednesday I've got my parliamentary tour in the morning, so maybe I can go over there later on Wednesday or something like that. But I do want to go to this patisserie and pick up some stuff, but everything is so busy right now. So I walked around the Byward Market and I checked out a few things. I was going to try and get food for dinner from some of these like little cafes, but there was way too many people. There's one that was where they have the Obama cookie. It's like a famous little Canadian shortbread cookie or something like that with icing on it. And I went in there and there was way too many people and it was just chaos. I was like, nope, not doing this. So eventually, after walking around the Byward Market, I made my way back up to the rideau Mall, and then I just got Chipotle, which is when I forgot my fork. I had to ask the concierge to send a fork up, and they sent it on a little plate. So that was really nice of them. Thank you. So yeah, I've just been kind of chilling in my room since, and I've been watching this show. So I really like the podcast Fat Man Beyond, and if you don't know, that's Kevin Smith's podcast that he does with a guy, Mark Bernard, and Kevin Smith, the director of Clerks. So I was listening to that like all the way up here. And on one of the episodes, they had this guy come on, Alan or Adam Richman. Anyways, he's one of the experts on this show called The Food That America Built, or The Brands That America Built, or there's like a whole series of the show. And anyways, they were talking about this guy. He used to be on Man vs. Food. That was his like TV show. And now he does this other thing. So I ended up finding, like going, when I got here, I was like, I want to watch this show. It sounds really, really cool. It like talks about all these, like how these different brands got started, like how McDonald's got started and Subway. And it's like really interesting to find out like how the Hershey's company got started, and basically like Hershey's Pennsylvania was completely built by the Hershey guy because he wanted all of his workers to live there. Like crazy little facts and stuff like that, right? And Coca-Cola, like Coca-Cola is called Coca-Cola because it came from the cola plants or whatever which was like cocaine, and then, or the Coke plant, sorry, which was cocaine, and then cola, which was like the stimulant plant that was like the caffeine that we know to be. And what's interesting is that like caffeine used to be made in, this caffeine plant used to be made into a wine, which was endorsed by the last Pope Leo. So Pope Leo the 13th endorsed a drink made with made with freaking cocaine in it. I was like, oh, cool. Neat little facts like that. So I've been watching this show since I got here, but the only way I've been able to watch it is I found this app. Really cool app if you guys have not heard. It's called Hoopla. So it's an app, and it allows you to use your library card. So you get your membership number, and you put your PIN in, because every library has a PIN code, right, when you go to check out books. So you put your library code in, your membership in, and your code in, and it gives you access to like all these TV shows and movies for free. Now, the only thing that's unfortunate is, like, they only have, like, season 1, 3, and 4 of the Food That America Built show. So I'm missing season 2. But it's not like it's a, Lost where I have to, like, follow along every single episode, right? So yeah. So I've just been chilling in my room watching that TV show, and that's about it. So tomorrow I'm going to try and go out somewhere else, another museum. I haven't decided which one I want to do yet. Considering it's going to be busy, maybe I'll do the art gallery. Maybe less people will be going to the art gallery because it's not really interesting to families and their children. So I think I might do that one tomorrow and leave some of the other more kid-friendly ones to later on in the week. But I'm going to go have a shower, put my PJs on, get comfy in my bed.